Should Superman kill? Well, I guess the short answer is no. There, it's over. But you didn't come here for the short answer, did you? Well, he has killed, I guess, in time to time if needed. Him and Doomsday killed each other, of course, in the famous death of Superman. There is, of course, the debate of Superman Part 2 starring the immortal Christopher Reeve. Superman, of course, is my favorite superhero movie, and it's like my third favorite movie of all time. Did he kill in Part 2? Well, there's many versions of that movie. I don't think he killed Zod in any of those versions. Firstly, in the one that we saw theatrically, the normal kind of regular cut of Superman 2, he sets up the fortress. He realizes that he's causing too much destruction fighting these guys toe to toe. There is 3 of them. He lures them back to the fortress by pretending he's cowardly. He knows they're going to follow him. He knows that they're going to find him and leave everybody alone. So he sets up traps in the fortress. Remember all that weird stuff, that teleporting stuff? This could all be seen as him using technology in the fortress to trick those guys. He depowers them. Once they're depowered in that famous scene, he crushes his hand. He's like, and he punches them and they fall. And then Lois punches Ursa and she falls. Well, I assumed, even as a kid, I just thought, well, they're not dead because they just fell underneath the fortress and he'll just go back and get them after. You see, because it was ingrained into my skull that not just Superman, but any superhero, no superhero kills. So I didn't go there. Like as a kid, I didn't be like, oh my God, he just killed Zod. I just thought, he punched him out and he'll go get him later. Like, it's not a bottomless pit into the core of the earth. Like in the fortress, it's a fortress. It's built up. So I just assumed they fell underneath there. So some people think, oh yeah, he killed them. He didn't kill them. Not in my mind. And not if you're a person that knows the character of Superman. Why would that be there? There is the Donner cut, which he was supposed to travel back through time and undo everything which was in Part 1. They ended up using that in Part 1. And I did do a video about time travel and Superman and, did he actually physically spin the world, or is that just the world? We're seeing it go backwards to visually represent how time travels works for Superman in his point of view. So check that video out. I'll link it at the end. That happens in Part 2, not in Part 1. So therefore Zod wouldn't be dead anyways, even to a generic person, because he's like, well, he just undid that. He went back and changed it, right? Okay. Then, of course, there is that extra scene which appeared on some TV cuts where they're literally getting arrested at the end. So they're clearly not dead. So if they're clearly not dead in that scene, then they still fell in underneath, but they were retrieved. So Superman didn't kill in that. He did kill Zod in Man of Steel, but nobody likes that take. There you go. But should he kill? Well, no, he shouldn't. No superhero should kill, because the point of it is that they're taking the law into their own hands. There are people right now who, don't trust the police because they claim that the police are more apt to shoot than not. Well, that's clearly not true, because that would, you would say that every time the cops are called in, they're going to shoot someone. Think about how easy it would be for Superman to kill, or the Flash, right? Or Hawk Girl, who murdered someone in that James Gunn movie, like in cold blood. Think about how easy it is. Superman could just show up and just laser everybody. Heat vision. There, it's over. The fact, why doesn't he do that? Because firstly, that's not his nature, because of his birth, his upbringing. He's brought up with old-fashioned American values. What that means is not to say that America is the best and everyone else sucks. What that means is that those particular values were very important in that time. And it was very, not progressive, but it's just like the right thing to do, because yes, biblically speaking, it would be the right thing to do. And you're going to have to live with that. That's a big part of Superman. So anyways, he wouldn't kill because that's not who he is. But if push comes to shove, should he do it? Well, no, he shouldn't. And because if Superman continuously just shows up and kills everybody, people are going to be scared of him. They're going to be like, wow, this guy shows up and just kills anybody. Like maybe he shouldn't have killed that person. Think about it right now. Whenever there's a real life shooting, there are so many people yelling and screaming on the social media and all that, saying, oh, you shouldn't have done that. And this, this is, you should have done it. Yes, you're justified in shooting this person. No, you're not justified in shooting this person because of whatever reasons. And no, you are. There's so much back and forth to the point where people don't trust the police. When you're in trouble, you call the police, right? So if you're having trouble right now in the real world trusting them, then why would you trust an alien that kills everybody? So no. Another reason is that it's lazy. See, I could write a Superman comic. Oh, look, there's an alien. Oh, Superman shows up and heat visions him to death and melts him. There, it's over. You see? It's over. It's good, easy peasy. What kind of comic is that? The point is that what makes Superman interesting is that he can do all of these things, but he has to hold back. He has to hold back so that he doesn't accidentally kill people. He could accidentally kill anybody. Hey, Lois, how's it going? Give me a little smooch on the cheek. Like accidentally hits her. What if they lean in to kiss and he headbutts her? Like her head's going to blow up, right? So think about how difficult it is to be Superman, right? It'd be much easier if he just showed up and killed everybody, because then you'd be like, cool. But it wouldn't be that interesting. Plus, it'd be a horror movie, right? So no, Superman should not kill. That is the answer. To follow that up, should any of these heroes kill? It's the same thing for the Flash. Why doesn't he just vibrate his hand through your guy's face and that's it? Like, no superhero kill, because comic books were made for kids. So you didn't want to teach kids these values. So it's not just that Superman shouldn't kill. Supergirl shouldn't kill, right? Hawkgirl shouldn't kill. Like the Flash, Green Lantern, they're supposed to be cops, right? They're space cops. So none of these heroes should kill. And yes, I know Batman has a no-kill rule. Well, his rule is a little bit more, stronger, because he's dealing with police. So if he starts killing a bunch of people, Commissioner Gordon or any of the police can't really justify that. They can't be like, look, Batman is almost like a private investigator, or he's like a special liaison to the police, or some kind of BS. This is where they start to overthink comics, and that could be a separate video. But in any case, Superman shouldn't kill. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and consider subscribing to the channel. I really would appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.